This is Ethan Tingler, front tire changer for the 3-car Austin Dillon. You're listening to Back of the Pack podcast on Fantasy Focus. Hell yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 32 of the Back of the Pack podcast here on Fantasy Focused, brought to you by the Original Hooters in partnership with Monkey Knife Fight. Well, boys, it is officially Harvick season. It's getting hot out there. How you gents doing?
Man, those apples are hot. Sixth win of the season. Ford owns Michigan. The only person to win there in the last, 6 races aside from Harvick is Hamlin, and those two guys are on some hot streaks. So chalky weekend, as the Fantasy Focus boys would say. Harvick with 2 Ws, but hey, when there's racing, I'm a happy guy. I'm excited for the racing ahead this weekend.
Glad we're on episode 32. One of my favorite running backs of all time, Ricky Watters, rocked the 32. I always got to just give a shout out. Those beautiful old school Seahawks uniforms. Have we had any really badass 32s in a NASCAR recently here?
Ricky Craven drove the 32 Tide car, I think, in the last few years. So,
nephew of Wes Craven.
If you say so.
Yeah. Little known fact.
MJD also number 32, Bucky. That's my number 32.
Yeah, it's a small 32.
That's what we should do from now on. Every new episode, we have to go about who is a famous 32. So next week we'll go into 33s. There's a lot of those in NASCAR.
33 is a great number.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Apple Card is hot right now. It's hard to bet against anyone else. In fact, in our weekly pool that we do for $20, where we each get assigned 3 or 4 random drivers, we did $40 last weekend. And the commissioner of a fantasy football league that Bucky and I share got Harvick in both races. So he just completely cleaned house.
It's rigged.
Hate to see it.
It's a charity at this point. I'm just losing my money.
He's not going to win this weekend, though, right?
Yeah, he can't get Harvick. There's a new Harvick rule. You can't get him back-to-back weekends.
You have to take all the monotony of Harvick winning race after race and realize the positives of the situation. Number one, Busch Light getting mass appeal across the United States of America and most likely abroad. You have folks across the pond who are sitting there, they're taking in NASCAR. It's a little late for them, but guess what? They've had a couple of brewskis, they're having a good time, and they're thinking to themselves, my God, I got to have a Busch Light apple. And you think, wow, my goodness. You're going to have some bloke coming over from Liverpool who's going to sit into a bar in America and say, I need a Busch Light apple. They're going to laugh him out of the bar. And that's the reality of the situation. But it is positive. It is positive.
Hey, it's a net positive gain, and I guess that we're just going to take that and just be happy for the apples.
I'm mostly happy for Busch Light, but then I'm also happy for apples because I love apples. I have an apple every day. It certainly has not kept the doctor away, but I'm still going to, believe in that old wives' tale. I'm going to keep on eating them apples, but at the same time, you need to embrace the red express that is that of Kevin Harvick right now because he really is driving like a man who's on performance-enhancing drugs. I want to be the first podcast to say I think he is on focus drugs.
Right.
If you've seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, I want to look into it. What was the angle? What was the pharmaceutical makeup of that drug? Chemical makeup. I think you're going to find traces very similar to my guy Harvick because he was in the damn zone the entire time he's out there.
Right. He looks like he's focused. He's on that NZT, Bucky, and he's got knots on his car as well. He's just absolutely dominating. It's almost unfair.
How can they not run the Apple car anymore this year? You know what I mean? Like if they run any other scheme, it's like they're just dooming themselves. So it'll be nice to see if Busch Light steps up here with the Apple wagon.
I part of me thinks it was like kind of a huge marketing ploy because it seems like the Busch Light apple is like a really elusive drink. Like it's really hard to find. Yeah. I know several guys that have tried to find it because of Harvick. Like it's a hot topic out there. So it's almost like they're just building up the hype and they haven't even released this shit yet.
Yeah.
So
this
no
is
one
the
really
Kevin
knows
Harvick Busch Light Apple podcast. Actually, we're going to change our name now.
I'm down with that, guys. I like the idea.
All in favor. We have 3 for 3. We're going to go ahead and change that title.
They call that quorum.
But
man,
Harvick is racking them up. I mean, in all seriousness, 6th win of the season, 55th for his career. And I think that puts him in the top 10 all time, tied for 10th place. So he's climbing that ladder very quickly. He is, and he is in tip-top, championship shape. And like we said, 4 out of the last 5 races at Michigan specifically have been won by Harvick. Ford just dominates there. But looking ahead, we're excited for Daytona. But to kind of give a couple of shout outs here, the one biggest takeaway aside from Harvick winning the weekend, Keselowski, the rat, he wrecks our guy Blaney going for the lead. Man, we've been giving Blaney so much love over the past few weeks and saying he's going to win, and his teammate, who just signed a multi-million-dollar single-year contract, just takes him out and says, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry." Like, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see that. I was really hoping Blaney would pull off a win there. I mean, that was kind of our long shot to win this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. I like the rat doing rat things. Rats live at the bottom of the ecosystem, and they're on that food chain. And you know what? A rat is always going to find food no matter where it is. And it doesn't matter who he's got to eat through, which subway system it's got to crawl through, which piece of pizza it's got to pick up and drag up them stairs. It really doesn't matter. A rat is going to find its way to feed. And that's the way we handle business. Yeah, it's a rat. If it looks like a rat, it eats like a rat.
Yeah, man.
How's the rat issue there in San Francisco, Oakland area there, Levy?
Well, I mean, I live in a fancy new apartment building, so I haven't had any rat issues. But
a few floors above the rats.
That's what you think, Freeman. Rat issues?
I see them. They're as big as squirrels here in the streets of Chicago. My dog runs after them, thinking they're squirrels, but they are in fact rats.
That's actually Kez. Kez
He's all over Chicago.
He has been there, yes.
Yeah, he himself's on a hot streak too. I mean, Harvick's someone who is by far the leader of the season. But I think Keselowski has 3 wins, a new contract, so he's no one that we can't hate on him too much. He's in the right place at the right time, enough to maybe give a couple free passes here. But to kind of round out the weekend, the doubleheader, as we said, both weekends, Harvick and Hamlin finishing 1-2. And then there on Sunday, not only did Harvick finish there first with a strong finish for his team, but JGR had a 2-3-4 finish. So some of these Toyotas are showing a bit more strength and maybe a bit more viable and adding some value in the weeks ahead.
Let's hope so. We got to get off this Ford train, man.
Right. I got to tell you, though, Kyle Busch actually looked pretty good this past weekend. That's one of the biggest takeaways for me. It's like maybe he's finally figuring it out. But
I think his whole team is. I think it's a good point, right, because not only is Hamlin doing well, but Truex and Kyle Busch are both up there. Eric Jones is kind of that outlier now. He's not coming back next year. They may not put as much effort into his machine. Whatever. Whoever says, so be it. But to have Hamlin, Truex, and Busch finish 2, 3, 4, that's a great sign for the team. I don't think that it's going to directly relate into strength this weekend on the road course. But in the weekends ahead, when we get away from Daytona and go back to the cookie cutters, I expect Toyota to be a bit stronger than they were in relationship to the Fords in weeks past.
Right. I think headed into this weekend, I'm most excited because A, it's a road course and I love a road course. And B, Harvick is not the overwhelming favorite. So I think in terms of monkey knife fight or gambling on NASCAR in general, this poses an opportunity for us to make some money in some different areas. Because I believe, and I haven't officially looked at monkey knife fight yet. We'll pull that up here shortly, but I'm assuming the public favorite is still going to be like the number's probably going to be at 18, 19, whatever it is for Harvick. And for me, I'm going to actually, it's only at 17.5. I just took a sneak peek there. So I still want to lean the under. He hasn't won on a road course, correct?
Yeah, I don't believe he has. He's definitely had more of a bumpy trajectory at these left and right turns. But, your boy is the favorite this weekend. We have Chase Elliott, who's leading the pack. He's at a 19.5 points on the more or less for our monkey knife fight game. So, he's someone who has had a lot of success at road course of recent. Not only has his first win in the series ever come on a road course, he's won at the Roval. He's had success there and been consistent. So, he's even crashed at a race at a road course and come back and won the race. So, he has the equipment needed. And I think this is somewhere that Chevy can flex their muscle a bit more and compete with Ford as well as Toyota, where the road course is the great equalizer. And again, I think that they're going to be on a very level playing field here.
For sure. Let's talk about the track though before we get into specific scenarios. This thing looks insane. There's a bunch of words that I don't understand on here, like chicane.
Nice pronunciation there, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a chicane, they call it the bus stop. It's a very short left right kind of quick in and out, because the purpose of it is to slow the cars down. If you have the track map here in front of you, as you can see in NASCAR turns 2 and 3, those are where they're going to be generating the most speed. And instead of coming all the way around the track at full speed, they put a kink in that backstretch to slow them down, as well on the front part of that dog leg on the front stretch, because even if they had that first kink or that bus stop, whatever you want to call it, chicane, they would still be in that 140, 150 mile an hour range by the time they get to the front stretch. That's just way too quick going into that first turn. So that chicane is going to slow them down, be more safe, and also be more entertaining.
Levy, can we share that for the viewers and the listeners out there?
Yeah, I think, hold on, let me pull up a better image.
I think it's worth talking about just the kind of the little nuances of the track like this. I think the chicane is just the absolute premise of a nuance. It changes every bit of mentality for the drivers. As you said, Freeman, it will slow them down, get them more prepared to not crash into the wall on the next turn. That looks crystal clear. Look at that. So obviously we started the bottom there, Freeman, and I'll let you rip.
Yeah, so like we said, they're at the bottom, straight in the center is the start-finish line. So turn 1 is very precarious, even on a restart, much less at full speed. So turns 2, 3, 4, and 6, I mean, they're pretty straightforward, long sweeping turns, especially as you get through 4, 5, and 6. But really what we were talking about was NASCAR 2 and 3, which are shown as 7 and 8 on this display. So when you're thinking about the NASCAR race, of course, at Daytona, it's a 4-turn track. So when you hear them reference NASCAR 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are the different turns within the road course. But that kink down the backstretch, 9 and 10, that's going to be very, very high speed. They're going to be going from 140, 150, 160 down to the 80s and 90s range, and that's going to be a lot of change of speed and direction. That's going to put a lot of strain on the vehicle. Expect a lot of cars to find the end of their day in turns 1, in turns 9, and in turns 13 and 14, because those are just danger cities when it comes to where you need to look out for on any given day at this track, much less the first time these cars have raced there in the history of ever.
Right.
Not just that. And I look at, you mentioned 9, and obviously that's a pretty steep angle there coming off the straightaway. But then you also have to mention coming into 10, that's pretty inherently steep as well. And then it's going to be the angling of these vehicles when they're coming around that last left bend, trying to get in that loop around the turn. I think that's going to be some fireworks at that point at the end of the race.
Yeah.
People are going to take their position towards the beginning of the race, middle portions of the race, where I am in my order. This is where I'm going to stay. But I also feel like there's going to be some folks really testing that angle coming from right to left there towards the end of that race. And that should be some more substantial fireworks if they make it through 9, which I think is a hell of a challenge. Because the thing about the chicane, if you look at 13 and 14, drivers understand the angle here. And now you notice how it's more gradual coming through 13 and then back into 14. You have a little bit more space from that first right to left. But that second left to right, they're really going to have to cut that angle and try to anticipate what they're going to do to gain speed towards that finish line.
Yep.
But it is not as tough, and it's not nearly as steep as that number 9. So I think you're spot on. And that 9 is basically Judgment Day. It's like Mad Max Fury Road. There's going to be some shit. You're going to have to make a pass. That is one of my favorite movies, by the way, and I hope it's a lot like that out there on Saturday.
I think you're close to it, and to play kind of devil's advocate here, I think 13 and 14 is equally as precarious because of the speed you carry into it. You're carrying so much speed in the 13 and 14. The reason that angle isn't so sharp and the turn isn't as daunting is because of the speed they're going to be carrying. Again, it's not meant to slow them down as much, but I think in turn that's going to create even more drama there because it's going to give these drivers the ability to push it a bit harder And that's what happened at the Roval when they first ran that track. Is they kept pushing it, and they didn't have a lot of practice. So someone would break that kind of cushion, if you will, and then they would chill out and then keep pushing it, and then they don't have the natural progression to practice and figure out where these barriers are. So they're going to be breaking them during the race. It's going to be everyone from the start to the back of the pack, and it's just going to be great to see them discover as they go along in the race. I'm super excited.
Two things I have to ask here. Are you expecting a sloppy race? There's no qualifying, no practice here, and if you're looking at a guy like Harvick, who, like we said, for the first time in weeks, isn't the favorite. He's plus 650, so he's the third favorite to win this race, right?
Yep.
Is that like extra motivating for him to go out there and prove like I truly am the best driver in the world right now, and I can take on a road course?
A bit, I would say so, because again, he's someone who hasn't been very, seasoned from a veteran's perspective on these courses. While he's partaken in other series at this track on this configuration in the NASCAR circles and the NASCAR world, he hasn't been a name to be known, synonymously with the road courses. Even names like Kyle Busch, are known to be strong at road courses. This is kind of the kink in his armor. So he's starting first. He has a hell of a car under him. I think if there's any time to really jump on your horse and win a road course and you haven't previously in your career, it's when you have 6 wins in the season, 2/3 of the way through it, and you're just picking them up and putting them down.
Right. I guess it just makes me nervous from a DFS perspective to fade Harvick. I mean, I tried it on Sunday after Saturday. I mean, Harvick started at 19 or 20, and he still won the damn race. Like, I tried to fade him. He was at 19 and a half, I think his more or less was set at. Yeah. And I freaking still lost.
Yeah, in basketball, the ball don't lie. I guess in NASCAR, the random drawing don't lie. No matter where you end up, if it's inverted or not, like the winner's the winner. I don't know if that's what's showing true in NASCAR, but Kevin Harvick's truly making it seem that way.
Well, he's the only guy in an apple cart, so that's an inherent advantage.
Fast apples.
Yes.
Tell your dog what up, Freeman. I love that.
Yeah, you hear him clipping away. Jess just came home and scurried down the hallway trying to keep it nice and quiet.
Yeah, Mom's home. We're good.
Yep. So, looking ahead of the weekend, and we talk about other race series that race here, the Rolex 24 as well as the IMSA cars. They are here, and a lot of these drivers have had experience racing this configuration. So it's nothing completely new, but these cars haven't seen the light of day on this track in anyone's recent history. So it's going to be unique to see them kind of feel it out. And the big debate going on right now is, are they going to push it or are they going to tiptoe it? And the issue is, if they're not all on the same page, that's going to be calamity corner come turn 1. So we're in for a lot of action.
Oh, I love it, man. I love some good action. This is the race I am looking forward to most this year, besides the All-Star race. 1, because I love a good road course. 2, because we are determining our fantasy football draft order, my longest standing league, by the NASCAR race. So if you're listening to this and you're a fantasy football fan, think about it. It's draft season. It's a good way to determine your draft order. I love it. Getting creative.
It gets you away from the monotony, and not that it's monotonous for NASCAR fans, of the 4 left turns. It's going to be something completely different. All chips are pushed in. Nobody has a clue who's coming up. It's a roulette game with 40 cars. Like, that's really what we're playing here. Except you could probably write off quite a few in the back. I'd say like 6 or 7. But beyond that, I think there's going to be a hell of a race here, and I'm super stoked for it. Road courses are very intriguing for a multitude of reasons, but most road courses don't incorporate nearly as much as the high-speed track is what we're going to see here at Daytona, and that's what really intrigues me, Freeman. And I'd like to hear your thoughts just on, you have Road America, you have Watkins Glen, you have these road courses that, you have straightaways, you have some nice tiny little bends where you can really pick up speed. But at the end of the day, seeing this take place on the inroads of just a really well-renowned racetrack, probably number 2 in the grand scheme of things here?
Number 1 for sure.
Oh, you think Daytona over Dega? See,
I'm
a Dega guy.
All day. I think
I'm a Darlington guy.
Daytona is all day in NASCAR. I think the only dispute there may be where does Daytona and Indy rank, depending on who you ask. So Daytona is
Really, I
definitely the
love
holy
Dega
grail.
though.
Yeah, well, Dega is the modern NASCAR holy grail because of the partying and the fun. It broke NASCAR out of its shell, and that's why a lot of people love Dega. And
Okay.
I think Daytona, because the reason Daytona is so prevalent is because a lot of the first races in NASCAR were held on the actual beach, so it's synonymous with the name. So that's why Daytona is so prevalent. But thinking about the race itself, I forgot your question, something about the speed and integrating the infield and being so fast. It's interesting to have those elements, to have these high speed elements mixed in, with these sweeping turns, but also, high deceleration areas, high braking areas. So, in NASCAR, entertainment is created under braking. Unless you're at a super speedway at a Daytona without the road course, your elements and your entertainment are created under braking. That's where the passing happens. What a lot of people are upset about of recent with NASCAR is they've taken that ability to brake and drive the car away from the drivers due to this low HP, high downforce package that uses less brake, uses quote unquote less skill. So this is going to be an awesome, just kind of tethering or grounding back to what we used to see in all these drivers jockeying for position. And we're going to see beat up cars on the track. We're going to see individuals in the back that we usually don't see. And we're going to see people in the back at the front that we usually don't see. So I'm just excited for all the difference that's going to happen.
How many cars actually finished this race, Freeman?
Ooh, that's a good one. So we have 40 starting, I think, 40,
Right.
36. 40 starting, I say that 29 finished the race.
29.
30.
Okay.
I think if there's more than, there's going to be 20 to 25 on the lead lap.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I would like to see less than 30. That's going to mean for some good crashing, some entertainment, some beating and banging, some off tracks, and give us a little bit of ups and downs to get excited about.
My wild card winner this weekend. I got a plus 1,200 winner for you. It's Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is going to break the streak this weekend.
I know that guy.
He needs a weird road course to get it done.
I don't hate that call. Do you remember ever seeing Kyle Busch at over 1,000 in the past 12, 16, 18 months?
It's been a while, man. So
we may be presented with a good opportunity here. And to have one of the quote unquote favorites be above 1,000, when it comes to the big three in the season, I think that's a good call. And it's crazy to think that he is someone who isn't in the top 3 or even top 6 of betting odds. It just blows my mind.
Love a good value bet, man.
Good
What do you
value.
think, Bucky? Who's your guy?
This weekend, I gotta say it. I gotta come clean. It's Kyle Busch.
Really?
Doubling down.
I think it's Kyle Busch. Yeah.
Wow.
I got faith in the guy this weekend. He's got to break out of the shell. You keep talking about breaking out of the shell. You talk about NASCAR, Freeman. I'm talking about Eminem man himself.
Well, I'm gonna go even more of a long shot here, and I'm gonna go with William Byron. Not only is he someone that hasn't won in the Cup Series, but he's someone who is, again, like everyone else, approaching this track brand new. I think his experience in simulations are going to take him beyond where other people's skill sets are. So, again, our ability to use technology and simulate these tracks and the situations that we come into encounter with on a regular daily basis on the racetrack is something that I think he will be able to translate into real world success more than anyone else. 3,500 plus 3,500 odds here to take home a W. It would be a hell of a day to see a rookie win the first race at a road course on the series, but I'm going to go out on a limb and call it this week.
Man, I love that. That's a ballsy play. Another one I just want to throw out there real quick. We talked about him earlier. I like Blaney at plus 900. That's creeping close to plus 1,000 as well. So I think that's good value if you want to throw a unit on it.
He's starting 24th, though. I got concerns there.
So here's the thing. With these road courses, strategy is a bit easier there's ways to overcome a poor start by taking 2 tires early. The only issue is being different than the rest of the field. Now, some of these guys who are starting mid to back of the pack, you may see them pit relatively early. We call it short pitting in NASCAR. If there's any track that you can pit at without going down a lap, that usually opens up a lot more opportunity for strategy. So, for example, if a stage is 50 laps and a fuel run is 35 laps, a lot of these drivers are going to stop. 15 laps into the stop so they can run to the end instead of running the whole fuel run and only pitting for the last 15 laps. So you'll see these individuals mix up strategy, mix up when they're going to pit, because if you do pit, you're not going to go a lap down. This is a 3.5 mile track. It is humongous on NASCAR terms. You're going to open up a lot of opportunities for some of these guys starting in the 20s to be in the single digits very quickly after stage one.
Well, makes sense. Appreciate the great analysis there, sir.
All right, so shall we get into some monkey knife fight? I believe last weekend we weren't able to provide our monkey knife fight picks because it was a little mixed up with the back-to-back races, and we recorded too early in the week. So we'll make it up to you guys with a monstrous week. Freeman, you're going to share your screen this week?
Am I? Oh, you stepped away. I don't have anything in my account. We can look at some numbers here. Or
I got it. Then I will.
I don't have much. The good folks there took me for what I'm worth last weekend.
Oh, I've been I've been winning. So I think I got 50 bones in there. So I'll share my screen. All right, so we got an interesting one to start. Hamlin and Harvick are both set at 17.5 points. If you guys have never played on Monkey Knife Fight before, you get 1/10 of a point only for every lap led. And first place gets you 20 points, second 19, third 18, all the way down to 20th place gets you 1 point. So for this, you can go more or less. 2 out of 2 gets you 3x your buy-in. And if you've never played on Monkey Knife Fight before, first deposit, use code FOCUSED and get yourself a 100% deposit bonus. So what are you guys thinking about this point total here? I'm going less on Harvick. I'm going to fade Harvick here.
I think we have to. We've talked a lot about Harvick of recent, and the way that we were talking about before the pod, this makes me have some hesitation looking ahead. Again, this is a track that he hasn't had. No one's had success on. It hasn't existed before. But again, generally at road courses, this is not Harvick's bread and butter. I think there's a lot of folks who are better outfit to win this race. And at 17.5, there's less laps to lead and get cushion points. I don't think that's something that Harvick's going to get this weekend.
I'm going to go less.
All right.
On both, or which one?
On both, of course.
Freeman, what do you think about Denny? I always want to go more on Denny.
Ever since we had the eye-opening truths of the how likely the lesses happen in Monkey Knife Fight, especially at a road course, things are unpredictable. Even though both these guys are starting in the front row, I like the less call here. I like the Bucky double Lesky here.
All right,
I'm just a negative person overall. Okay, I want everyone to fail just like my life.
Now,
all
this
right.
is a good one because we were just talking about both these guys as potential winners and mainstays. So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are here, Buck. And well, Levy first.
Yeah. So my gut instinct here tells me to go more on Busch, where I could use your guys' help. Obviously, if I think he's going to win, I need to put my money where my mouth is. But Blaney, you said starting all the way at 24. If we don't think he's really going to win, I want to lean less. What do you guys think?
Yeah, even though I had a little bit of input on the strategy side, you have to remember not everyone's going to be able to capitalize on that strategy. And starting middle of the pack in a race like this, where there are people around you who are very inconsistent and a little bit less experienced, and when you're in a front of the pack machine, you're a little bit more susceptible to failure. So I like the more for Busch, and I would agree with the less on Blaney, out of the gate.
Bucky, any additional thoughts on that?
Well, you know how I feel.
So you're
just
going to
like
go
Freeman.
Less.
All right.
Negative.
All right. I actually do. I'm with you guys though. In terms of Monkey Knife Fight, I like the rapid fire. I think more. Look how high Chase is set at. By the way, I don't want to play this one. I hate this in general. 19.5 for Chase and 18.5 for Truex. That's just really high.
That's ugly. I'm going less there. I think that's free money. Put $2 on it.
$2.
Yeah.
On a less. I mean, here's the thing. We also have to think there's a lot less laps to be led here. We mentioned that.
Oh,
Christian-
fiver?
Oh, there we go.
Feeling
Big
ballsy,
day.
Buck.
Damn. How are those pants fitting?
Got plenty more room in there, Buck.
I know you do.
All right, so let's jump into a little rapid fire. 3 out of 3 here gets you 4x your buy-in.
All right, let's start off with these are all challenging. I think the one on the right is the easiest. I say we stick with our gut here and we go with Busch.
I want to go.
Yep. And then looking at the differential, I mean, I would take Truex because of the 1.5.
All right.
See, I'm going to disagree. I think Truex is going to blow himself out of this race quite early. I think within the first 50 laps.
All right, I'm going to go with Bucky on this one just because it's Chase. You know.
You always got to go with Chase. I feel it, man. You got to stay with your team, and I love it. I respect it.
Yeah, all bias aside, of course.
That's it, dude. Of course. All right, 3 out of 4. This is more my speed. I don't want to go more or less. I want to go rapid fires. I feel better about rapid fire. I'm gonna stay away from that one. Let's see if I can find us something juicy here. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna stick with Kyle Busch here, but are we gonna go with the Rat or Logano? Logano plus 2.5 points.
Yikes. Well, the reason that is because he has not had as much success at these tracks. Of course, I mean he's more of on the Harvick level, someone who has been very strong at some of these traditional tracks, but not at the road courses. 2.5 points is a lot. We always talk about that, but we talked about it right before the pod how the Rat's he's right in the Rat place to Rat attack, and I think it's Rat attack weekend.
He's just lurking right now to snatch himself.
He's lurking in my brain too, man. He's fucking me up.
Right? I'm gonna go Kez here too, man. Listen, we talked about cheese and pizzas and all.
I've never said rat so many times in one sentence.
I love that rat, man.
Team Kez. All right, so let's.
I think I'm shifting into a rat guy.
Yeah, you can rip that 0 off your hat and it'll become a 2 hat.
I'm the king of the rats.
Oh man,
where's that 3 out of 4 rapid?
3 out of 4 rapid.
Non-existent this week.
You can go to show more. There'll be a lot more competitions on the far right. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Where's that? Oh, they took it off because we've been winning too many 3 out of 4s. Oh yeah.
3 out of 4. Here we go. All right. So for me,
it's 3 out of 4. So I think in this situation, you mix it with Truex.
Right.
You go with Denny.
You go Blaney.
I think you go Blaney. And then you can't go Logs. He's terrible. You go Rat.
Dude, they just are putting Joey Logs and Rat Attack on the same one every single weekend, so we just can keep trash talking them.
I know.
Listen, Kez is I think he's the more composed driver between the two of them. Like,
I agree with that.
Loses his shit, man. I think
100%.
part of it is Logs doesn't pull into his pits well. I think Logs needs to work on the fundamentals a little bit.
Well, it's all about when Logano gets his snack. If he didn't get his snack before the race, he's a cranky old little bitch. But if he gets his snack after, he is a fine little proper boy. So just get Logs his snack and he'll be okay.
Yeah, right. Logs, man. Look, I can't believe I bought a hat for Logs.
The only person to own a Joey Logs hat.
I'm telling you, just rip one of the 2s off and it'll be a Keselowski hat.
There you go.
Oh, shit. I got some duct tape. We're going to figure something out there.
Same with the Eric Jones hat. You just turn that bad boy. You got 2 Kez hats.
No. I ride with EJ, man.
Bucky just bought the most 2 random hats he could find on NASCAR.
I thought that being the heel to you guys would be fun. I thought there would be more victories for old Buck and Logs. They were nowhere near in sight. It was like I was in a desert and I was looking across an oasis and I saw the boy Joey Logs just staring at me. And I say boy and I mean boy. You can get at me at Bucks the 5'9" Logs. But I've seen nothing but a petulant being on that race course. And furthermore, just pull into your damn pit the way you should. He's always going in cockeyed. He doesn't set his guys up. And you know what? I don't like the guy anymore. And I'm going to burn his hat live on this stream one night. I'm going to control the fire. There will be gasoline involved. Don't worry about where I procure the gasoline, but I will procure it. And I'm going to set a blaze to that old Joey Logs hat one day.
Yeah, and the next day it'll be Florida man content all over New York Times with Bucky's face plastered everywhere.
Oh man,
I can only dream.
I think that the second that Bucky gets off the Logs train, Logs is going to rise to the top.
right?
I holding Logs back. I'm the virus.
I think
COVID-19.
Bucky, you ranted so long about Logs that you made me change my mind on my gut instinct here on my 8 out of 8 for 100x to buy in. So this is the week we win. I filled this out. If you weren't paying attention, I filled this out in about 3 seconds. I feel good about it. So I'm going.
I look very confident. I'm not going to second guess any of it.
Right. I'm going less on Chase, 19.5. It's a lot of points. Truex, we talked about that, 18.5. Harvick doesn't win on road courses. I am nervous fading Harvick in any sense. So it's less. I'm going more on Denny. I'm gonna go Denny to finish in second place. Kyle Busch wins in first, so I'm going more on him. Blaney, I'm going less. I'm going more on the Rat. The Rat comes in third. So the Rat's going to finish with 18 fantasy points this weekend. And then obviously whatever Joey Logs has set out. You could set him at 9 points and I would take less.
Well, it's going to be a good day for the Logs bets at least.
So that's what, 5 to win 500?
5 to win 500. Just one time. I just need to hit it one time. There we go. There you have it. 5 out of 500.
For boys.
I don't know where I went so sour on Logs. Like, it's been so many episodes now, but I don't even know why I hopped on the wagon aside from trying to poke y'all for talking so much shit about that guy.
Probably the only reason why.
But now I understand it. And it's like, having seen both sides of the fence, I realized that the side against Logs is way more profitable.
Speaking of side of the fence, he definitely yells at kids on his lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Does he even have a lawn? I feel like this guy has rocks in his yard.
If he does, his wife mows it.
He lives in probably...
His wife definitely mows his yard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has a yard. I think he's in like a Scottsdale, Arizona type setup. He's got gravel. He's got nice stones. Yeah, he's a big stones guy. Less upkeep, allows him to be on the road more, get on with his daily life. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're not mowing your lawn, are you not full of logs? You got to think about these things, fellas.
Fair point. Oh, man. All right, Freeman, any last words of wisdom for us headed into the road track, or road course, I should say, at Daytona?
Find the biggest screen you can, put it on, kick your feet up. There's going to be a bunch of action. We've got the ARCA race we talked about is on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Xfinity, 3 p.m. Eastern. And on Sunday, we have a doubleheader. The trucks go off at noon Eastern, and the Cup Series goes off at 3. So we have all 3 national major touring series plus the feeder series all at the same track. 3 days, 4 races. Going to be a lot of action on a new track. Tune in, enjoy it, have it on the background. Just enjoy some new racing. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening that we don't see on a week-to-week basis.
Love it, man. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, if it's your first time coming across the podcast or the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media at BackOTPack on Twitter and on Instagram, and at Fantasy Focused as well. Talk to you guys soon and see you next week.
See y'all.